I've been told I do a decent job of writing dialogue. Now, it may or may not be true, but if it's true, I'm not bragging about it, but I've thought about it, and if it's true, I think I may have an idea why, and I just wanted to share it with you. Part of one of my earlier lives, I was a pastor and pastoral counselor, and as part of my training in seminary, I went through a program called Clinical Pastoral Education. One of the common practices in CPE is an activity called a verbatim. And a verbatim, kind of like it sounds. The idea is you go in and you talk with somebody for whatever. It might be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40, 45. But while you're there talking with them, there's no note-taking. It's none of, It's the full time you are focused on them for however long you're in there. Once you're finished, 20, 30, 40 minutes later, you go into another place, you sit down, and you write down the entire conversation verbatim. And you do this every time you meet with somebody, 5, 6, 10 times a day. I think that may be, if I do a good job with dialogue, it's because I went through all of that training on just being able to listen. Listening to people talk is different than thinking about writing what people might say. Does that make sense? I'm sitting in a coffee shop right now, and here's an activity I'm going to suggest. The next time you're sitting in a coffee shop or standing in line in the grocery store or whatever, just stop a minute, find a conversation taking place, and yeah, I know it's eavesdropping, but just listen. Listen to words being spoken, listen to how the words are spoken, listen to the no words, listen to the silence, listen to the gaps, listen to the pacing, listen to the volume. And just listen to how we use words. Somebody who's angry is going to use words and sound differently than somebody who's happy. But don't worry about that right now. The key right now is just listen to how people really talk. One of my greatest friends as I write is the little program called Grammarly. It helps with my editing. It's also one of my greatest enemies. Grammarly and I fight constantly when I'm writing dialogue, because dialogue doesn't necessarily pay any attention to grammar. We don't necessarily talk that way. Okay, enough of that. If I'm any good at dialogue, I think it's probably because of clinical pastoral education and those cursed things called verbatims. You don't have to write, although you might do that. That would be interesting. Sit and listen to somebody talk, a conversation, 5, 10 minutes, and then sit down and write it down, word for word. Don't write it the way you would write it the way it was said. Okay, that's enough. Give it a shot. Good luck.